Oh, is it not gonna come through unless I reset? It might not. Yeah, I want it to come through my headset. There we go. There's the audio. There we go. Alright, are we live? Looks like we're live. Alright, welcome in everybody, we are back! We're doing something that I don't think we've actually done before on the stream. We're gonna be doing F-It Friday today. It's not guaranteed to be F-It Friday, but we've got a good topic because the war in this war of mine, one of the houses actually says F the war. So hopefully we get that house. Otherwise, we will just roll with it. And some of the scenarios in this one are rather difficult. But we're going to start with a basic one because I don't think I've done this on stream before. So we're going to go with one of the basic groups. One of the first couple that you start with. As you progress and unlock, and if you get any of the DLCs, you'll be able to play with some of the others, including the ones that have children. Okay, that's not the same house. Let me see if I can roll into that house. And we're gonna play Anniversary Edition mode because there's some more locations that we can get in it. Yep, alright, we got that house. Yep, little F the war right there. So, the first thing you gotta do when you load up the game is you need to have everybody start fishing out the house. What is this game? This is a game called This War of Mine, bloke. This is a game that actually is pretty realistic. Obviously, it's not an exact depiction or the world's most accurate depiction, but you are playing as civilians in a civil war torn city. And I'm playing one of the basic scenarios, so then it's easier to explain what you have to do. Basically, there's one word to describe this: survive by any means necessary. So that means you're gonna have to make some tough decisions, and you're more than likely gonna have to kill people, especially once you start having to venture into more dangerous areas to get what you need. It starts off pretty easy, but you start with a bunch of stuff around the house that you gotta go pick up. And you can see I've got two of the guys working on digging out some of the rubble, because, you know, there's rubble everywhere, you know, because this is a war-torn city. So this is kind of the temporary shelter that these guys have claimed as their own. And there's a bunch of different scenarios you can play. Some of them you start... Well, we'll get to that in a minute. No, I am not ignoring the council, Shiki, sorry. I'm just trying to explain to Bloke what we're up to, so... Sorry. And then each survivor bloke you'll see has a unique skill set. So you can see that Marco, if you look in the lower right corner of the screen here, I do see that you called for a healthy snack, Shiki. I'm not ignoring you. So you can see that Marco is a skilled scavenger. He can find more stuff when he searches. So you want him, if he's in your group, you want him to be the one picking everything up, because he can find more things than other characters can. And when you come into your crafting station, you start with one, a simple workshop. First thing you want to do is make a metal workshop, because this is where you get a lot of your tools. So it's very important that you build that day one, especially to get a crowbar, because some of the doors, as you can see, are locked. In order to get into those, you either need a crowbar or you need lockpicks. You got your choice. Looks amazing. Yeah, and if you look up here, you can see it's like penciled. There's like a penciling effect. I love that graphically. And you can also make weapons, you can make a knife. As you upgrade these two stations, you can build more things. So that's also important, is that you get enough stuff that you can upgrade. I will have my healthy snack, Shiki, momentarily. This is kind of the first part, so I have to... And then you can see it's locked. You need something to open it, but Marco's working on it. So Bruno, he is a good cook. So his unique skill is it takes him less water and fuel to cook meals. Which, of course, is important because, you know, obviously you're not going to be able to go this entire war without being able to eat, so... It is helpful, especially when you are strapped for resources. And then Pavel, right here, he's the fast runner. Now you might think, what purpose does that serve in a time of war? Well, Pavel can be useful for getting into a certain location because there's a sniper that tries to kill people. And Pavel is the only one who can get through without getting hurt because of how much faster he can run compared to the others. And he's also helpful for, like, a quote-unquote hit-and-run tactic. If there's, like a fridge you want to get somewhere that's in a dangerous area, Pavel is your best chance to get in, steal the food out of the fridge, and leave without getting hurt. Or without getting seriously hurt, at least. So there's a couple different applications for his fast-running skill. So while the boys are digging through the rubble, let's look at what else that we can do. So, at least at level 1, you can't make too much, but you'll also want to make a bed right away. Otherwise, you are going to have your boys sleeping on the ground, or girls, there are female survivors. They're going to have to sleep on the ground, and they're going to get back pain. And they're going to sleep poorly, and that can affect their performance, both in scavenging and in shelter defense at nighttime. I typically like to have enough beds, at least when materials allow, for the number of survivors in the shelter -1, because one person is going to be active doing stuff, so, you know, running around, cooking, whatever the case may be. Yeah, I'm having Marco do all the scavenging, because even in the house, I believe he can find more stuff. And you also start with a chair. Yes, chair. There is a chair here. Look at... Wait. You can see Pavel is now sitting in the chair. Sounds like a good game. It is, Bloke. It can be difficult, though. There can be some tricky decisions. Wait, chair stream? Yes, there's a chair. And I can zoom in. Look at... He's sitting on the chair. There is a chair here. And I love the music in this game, too. The music just complements it. Alright, Marco, get upstairs. And also, you'll notice in the upper left, you've got a timer and a day counter. The shelter is active from 6 o'clock in the morning in-game time until 8 p.m. So that is your time to rest, craft, do whatever. And once 8 o'clock hits, it becomes nighttime. And now we can start looking around. You usually start with 3, maybe 4, sometimes only 2, locations that you can go scout at, and you can get a little flavor text in the upper right-hand corner of what you can find there. Many of the locations have, like, scenarios or multiple possible things. Some don't, and they only have one. And then you can either go out scavenging. Honestly, if you're not scavenging at night, unless you're at the very, very end of the game, you're doing something wrong in this game. You need to scavenge basically 95% of the game. Because you need stuff, you need food, you need materials to be able to make your shelter even decently livable for your survivors. And to be able to do other essential things. So unless you have like a glut of like 30 meals, and you're in like day 40 or something, which is kind of the end game, then you should be out scavenging. And cleaning stuff up. And you can also steal things. As notated by the Quiet House. Basically a bunch of, you know, people just living their lives. We've got nothing to look for there unless we are willing to steal. Yeah, sometimes I hit that one up right away, even though it's stealing, because I need stuff and there's no threat. You'll also notice, with caution advised or even danger later, that it's gonna get pretty sticky going out there to scavenge for supplies. But we'll get to that later. Alright, scavenge. Yeah. Alright, let's go. Hey. Then you can start looking for stuff. And also, I would strongly advise for anybody picking up this game, you'll want to make a drop-off point somewhere near the entrance area to put your scavenged items, because you're not going to be able to carry everything out at once, even if you've got the best survivor for it. Marco has a pretty good carry capacity, and that also varies by character. He has a carry capacity of 15 units of space. Most characters only have 10 or 12, but Marco has 15 and Boris has 17. But Boris is a slower character. He has a stiff foot from an injury during the earlier part of the war. Okay. Yeah, that is locked, I'm pretty sure, so... Yeah, I don't have the tools with me, but that's the door. And if you steal, a lot of times characters will get sad, but honestly, this is this is not the time to feel sorry for people, because in actual war-torn countries, it's merciless. Like, it doesn't matter where you're at, like... Yeah, I'm gonna need to bring the crowbar, but I don't want to leave the shelter unarmed at home, because if you don't have weapons to defend the shelter at home, then your characters are significantly more likely to get injured. So this is kind of my drop-off point. So I'm gonna start looking. Initially, what I like to do is take back the junk. Now that seems dumb. Like, why would you take back the valuable stuff? Well, partially because we don't have weapons, and partially because we have a trader that comes by, and you can offload a bunch of junk onto him. Obviously, you'll also want to have enough food to feed your shelter inhabitants. Tempted to word ban? Oh boy. We're gonna start with the word ban. We haven't done word ban in a long time. No one's done that for a while. Makes sense so far. Yeah. Hey, Pavel, you need to get up, dude. Because now Marco is tired, he has to go lay down and get a nap. When do you know that they need to sleep? If you look in the lower right-hand corner under each character's tab, you can just click on them, you can see what afflictions they have. Yeah. So that's how you can tell if they're hungry, if they're wounded. If they're tired, if they're sick, if they're sad. Yeah, at first you really only have the supplies to make one bed, which is fine. You can cycle through, but I usually like to have 2. Sometimes in a shelter with 4 survivors, I can get away with 2 because then I have 2 people that are running around the house. It'll get you in trouble. Danger, trouble, and scavenge. Well, danger, caution, advised, and... yeah. Oh, no, you're talking about the ban. Yeah. Sorry. I'm mixed up. Yeah, roughly every second or third day... ish. You get a trader, his name is Franco, and he comes by. And you can trade your stuff. That's why I take back the junk first, because then I can save space later for actually critical things that I need, so... like, obviously, we need to bring back supplies to make... we gotta make a stove because we're gonna have to eat, so... yeah. And this is gonna sound silly, bloke, but you technically only have to feed your survivors every other day, and on odd-numbered days, specifically. And the reason is, if you, let's say, go to day 3, and they are not fed, they will still be hungry, but if you go to day 4, they're gonna progress to very hungry, and so on. A survivor can live for just about a week and a half if you don't feed them, and then they will die. So you do need to keep up on it. And that also affects their movement speed and ability to defend the shelter, so you do want to keep your survivors well fed. And another note, with the timer up here in the corner, if it takes roughly the amount of time for a survivor to wake up and not be tired anymore, and nothing has happened, then there's not going to be a daily event. There's tons of different kinds of events that can occur throughout the game. So you can just end the day forcibly if you want. Oh, that's a good one, but I need a knife. So the supermarket you can see is highlighted with danger. But this one is actually the easier scenario of the two. Well, not easier, but better scenario of the two for the supermarket, because there's a soldier who is about to commit the R word on someone, and if you kill that soldier, you get a gun. Yes, a gun. And that basically is your shelter defense for the entire run, is if you have guns. It makes it incredibly easy to defend the shelter. But we need a knife to take that guy down. Otherwise, he's gonna turn around and shoot us. So, and you're gonna lose a survivor. And we can't really have that, so... And I don't have enough materials to make the stove, so I may have to shift. I may have to risk it and take the crowbar and go downstairs. And see if there's any other materials down here, but... how did I enter? Through the front door? Huh. Oh, and also, when you're out scavenging, be careful with the timer. The scavenging starts at 9 p.m. Yeah, that's not helpful. So when you're out scavenging, be careful. You have until 5 o'clock in the morning in-game time to return. If your character is not out by that point, it will be harder for your character to return. They are more likely to be injured or killed because then the snipers come out during the daytime. Okay, the night was calm again. That's good. Oh, I didn't think he was sleeping on the floor. And the characters do default to sleep at night, so it's kinda... just gotta keep an eye on that. Clearly I didn't, so it's... hopefully Franco comes by today, because I need him to trade some of this junk. So then I can actually make a stove. I'm short by a handful of components. Hopefully Franco shows up today. There he is! And that's how you can ID him. It's this gentleman. And then he'll say when he knocks on the door, hey, I have stuff to exchange. That's how you know it's Franco. And like I said, it's usually every second or third day, maybe fourth day, depending on the other in-game events that occur. But he comes by pretty frequently, so you'll be able to trade your junk, trade whatever you want. And then obviously you're gonna have to tell him, you know, what you want. And then he'll say, fine, we have a deal, or whatever. Like, he'll tell you. And then he'll say how sweet the deal is, like, because we got a bunch of junk in there. Ooh, if I can make the knife with that. I need 3 weapon parts. And then he'll go like, fine, we have a deal, and if you try to get too much, he'll say, it won't do, try harder. And you can go in more than once, so don't fret, because you can only trade 8 slots at a time, but you can easily go back in and just keep going. Until you don't have anything else to trade. Yeah, you can go back in it as many times as you want. Like, there's no limit. And then you can tell him when to leave, because there's an X underneath him. And then that's how you can tell him to leave when you're done. So... yeah, I like to snag just about anything I can. Yeah, I'm a bit of a min-max, if you will. You can also tell him not interested, but you don't really need to do that. Is there anything else I want from him? Or he just runs out of stuff for you to get from him. So... yeah, I think we're good. Alright, so then I'm gonna send him off. And then he'll go... alright, yep, because I need Bruno to start cooking, because we need food. And now, when I take Marco to go take out the supermarket with the knife, I can leave the crowbar at home with the boys, so that there's a melee weapon available until I can get the gun. There's a couple of characters that are much more able to do combat. That is Erica and Roman. Those two can do an incredible amount of work. They are able to, if you come up behind somebody with a knife and they have not seen you, they can just kill in one shot. Most other characters cannot do that. Alright, Bruno, you need to go lay down now. Alright, I'm gonna get the boys fed and... alright, so now everybody is fed. And because Franco came by, and only one of those events will happen per day, But we're gonna go ahead and send Marco up here to finish off the scavenging on this end of the house because there's a slight area there, and I don't know what's in there, so we have to go figure it out. Brah. Yeah, and I decided to start earlier because this game has some of the longest runs, especially if you do the entire thing at once. Some of the scenarios are longer or shorter than the others. This one is one of the longer ones. But it also kind of lets you have fun because you can make your shelter look really cool. Okay, well there's something in there. We got pills. We got mids. Well, there's nothing else to do, and I don't have enough materials to make other things. Well, I guess I could have made the knife, but that's fine. Eventually there will be a point where areas get cut off either due to the fighting or due to snow. And yes, you heard that right. Snow. Yeah, I don't think I had enough materials to make the knife. So I'm gonna leave the crowbar with Bruno for tonight. So that he has a defensive. I'm gonna have Marco dig through this pile, unfortunately. So it's gonna be a minute. Doesn't stop because of the war, that's cool. Yeah. And depending on which scenario you're playing, you might even start in the winter period. Or it may come earlier or may come later. But yeah, the weather does still vary. And in the winter, if you're not keeping your shelter sufficiently warmed, then your characters are significantly more likely to fall ill. So. And then Marco's come through. Take a second to break through that. And there's also little magnifying glasses that you can look at. It's not anything big, but you can get little, like, story bits. Head up the ladder. I saw something up here. Yeah, anything with a hand is free. Anything with a little pinch and a diamond is a steal. That's what we would have seen at the Quiet House. It is possible to change from steel to a hand. Like if the previous occupants are dead, then it becomes fair game. And then we can look at this. What's this? This poor man had been caught by the shelling. What was he doing here? This little thing. But because Marco's inventory is full, we are going to head out as close to the entrance as we can get, so then he can drop off and keep going. I thought there was another barrel that we could steal from. There's a spot right here. Grab all of that. And some of those magnifying glasses could actually lead you to additional resources, so make sure you hit them all. Like this one. There's a note under the table, not actually hidden, but it could be easily missed. From the style of handwriting, you can tell it was written by a woman in a hurry. So this one basically says that there's jewelry behind the barred door. And I'll show you guys that barred door in a second. Because it's not just locked doors that you have to deal with, it's also barred doors that you need a saw blade, which requires the workshop at level 2. But yeah, if you see these bars right here, you see we can't get through that. We need a saw blade. So we will have to come back to this location later with a saw blade to retrieve those jewels in the cardboard box. Yep, there's still... We're kind of getting to the cusp of the limit here, so we're gonna have to finish up. Yeah, and you can either be clicking rapidly, or if you want them to slow down, because as you can tell, running is going to make noise, unless you are Erica, who is the cat burglar. She can run around and nobody will hear her. She's a very quiet one, and she's also trained in combat, so she's one of the best characters in this game. She's one of the most versatile. Give her a gun, give her a knife, and she can do anything. So, she can take any location down relatively easily. Alright, this is our drop-off point, so now we're gonna see what we can bring back. Oh, and also if you find books, that'll help with your survivor's mood. And that is important, because if people start getting depressed or broken, you can't... It's gonna be a lot harder to work with them. They're gonna start giving you trouble. Depending on how bad it is, they may leave the shelter and then you just lose them. So... Alright, Pavel, you need to get up, buddy. Marco needs to go to bed. Alright, you... Let's have you make knife. And you, what can we have you do? Can we make the upgraded stove yet? That would be ideal, because then it takes even less water. Not yet. Okay. Alright, so now we have a knife to defend with, but also offend with. So... And I think that's what I'm going to do with Marco, is I'm going to go try and take down the supermarket. Yeah, once Marco wakes up, I'm going to put Bruno down. And then we'll probably just end the day. So then I can go take down the supermarket and start cleaning it out. Yeah, arguably Marco, I think, is the best scavenger. Not just because of his skilled scavenger skill, but also his carry capacity. Because he moves a lot faster than Boris. So, and then occasionally your neighbors might show up asking for help. Now, you don't have to help them, but it can certainly help with the mood. So this person is with her daughter living nearby. Now, it is optional whether you help your neighbors or not, but it can help with your character's mood if you do so. However, that also means you're going to lose a survivor for a day. So you'll have to make that decision carefully. So I suppose if I have Bruno defend at home, I could send Pavel out. And then, depending on the characters, some of them are be like, you know, they shouldn't have gone. Like, I don't care if they steal, whatever. And that is individualized, depending on what character it is. They mow the grass and I started sneezing up a storm. Oh no! Are you allergic to grass? Cheeky. Are you allergic to grass? And before you hit end date, make sure that the characters you want sleeping are actually in the bed. Fully in the bed. Otherwise, it will not count. Okay. And then, yep, Bruno is good. Yep, there's the military outpost. Oh, damn. Grass. Ah. Alright, Marco. Grab that knife. We're going in. Need to go now. Ah! Alright. Yep, and then Marco is here. He's ready. Slowly walking in. And you can zoom in, too, to make it easier to see. Especially when you're going to be in combat. The game looks cool. You'll have to catch the rest of the VOD. I can give you food for a favor. We all know what that means, right? I don't think I have to explain. And then, if you see that icon right there... Oh, come on. Oh, come on, Marco, get him! There we go. Alright, well, Marco's wounded, but we got band-aids. We can remedy that. Yeah, he's kind of hobbling a little bit, but he can still move at a normal speed. We got bandages to heal him up. But yeah, if you're able to do this, you're basically good to go with home defense for a considerable amount of time. Well, yeah, it's barring it from the other side. I gotta... And you can't skip that soldier either, because that door is barred up. So I'm actually gonna go ahead and dismantle that right away. There's a bunch of stuff on the roof that we're gonna go get first. Open up that door. And you'll also notice there's a button for run to exit. You can hit that, but be careful when you do so because some areas have multiple exits. So your character will go to the closest exit, which may not be where your supplies are, where your supply stockpile is. So the supermarket, there is only one entrance and exit. And some areas have multiple possible entry points. Which, depending on the scenario, it is. Yeah, let's throw everything down, head back up to the roof. Yeah, my strategy for looting is take the highest and farthest first. Regardless of the survivor that I'm using. So we're gonna go to the top floor, which is up here. And then once we've cleaned out this floor, we'll go here, and then we're gonna go to the basement. We're just gonna get as much as we can. But yeah, having a gun is absolutely essential to base defense later on, so the earlier you can get your hands on one, the better. There's a couple of good locations to get them. The supermarket with this scenario is one of them. The Apartment building, there's a scenario where you have a single dude. That's a good spot. The military outpost, if you're feeling ballsy, you can get a gun there. You can get multiple guns, actually. That'll actually be the next place that we raid. Once we're stable on food and supplies, we're gonna go there, take a gun, and a knife. Take a gun with a bunch of bullets, and just kill everybody. Alright, keep going. Wait, how much farther back does it go? Alright, we're doing pretty good as far as cleaning out most of the building. Yeah, and we're gonna come back the next day and we're gonna finish it off. At least getting everything packed over here, that is. So, we're not gonna be able to carry everything out. That's gonna take another several in-game days, but... yeah, the supermarket is a very material-rich spot, so you'll definitely want to go here. Okay, let's grab this. And we definitely want to get the junk, because we might be getting Franco again. And I want to be able to give him junk and get stuff that I actually need, so... yeah, and your character will give you a warning when it's getting to be close to the end of the time. Maybe we can probably head back. Now let's go here. Yep, and now we're... I'm not gonna go take care of that rubble this night, because it takes roughly 2 in-game hours to clean it out. Per thing. So, alright, this is all we're gonna be able to do. So let's head back. And I'll actually let it play, so then you guys can see what the notification looks like when you're running out of time. That's when you may want to employ the run to exit button. Oh yeah, we definitely want to take back the knife and the gun. Yeah, we definitely want to take that back with us. Yep, I should go back. Yep, and of course now Bruno is slightly wounded. Yes, we're gonna bandage. And the slightly sick and slightly wounded is so annoying because no matter how many nights you have them sleep, they just never seem to get better. Like, it's really annoying. It's like the game forces you to waste your bandages on people that... I mean, I usually don't. For some reason, it's funny. The scavengers... if you send someone out to scavenge, there's a chance they might actually get better. Which Marco did before. But now he's wounded because he was fighting with that soldier, so... yeah, I'd like to get some more bullets before we... go for the military outpost, because there's a lot of guys that I have to kill. Yeah, there's 4 or 3... no, I think there's 3 or 4 guys in the first half and 4 in the second half. Because the military outpost is actually kind of in two parts. But if you can raid that area, you're basically set for life for the rest of the run. Just get everything out of there and you're good, so... Especially the guns. The guns are extremely valuable, understandably, in war because... yeah, you go lay down. Yes, we gotta wait for an open bed for Pavel, which is fine. Otherwise, I can have him sleep tonight. Let's see if there's gonna be an event. And you may also occasionally come across broken weapons that can be repaired and become functional. Doesn't look like there's gonna be one. And also boarding up the holes in the shelter is gonna provide better protection against looters as well. But we don't quite have the materials to do that yet. Yep, we're gonna go back to the supermarket. We're gonna take the crowbar with us, but we don't have to worry because we have a gun at home. Yeah, if you've got ammo with guns, you're good to go. Like, yeah, you really don't need anything else. But yeah, let's go take care of the rubble down here. We got a couple of crowbar spots that we can address. And then this lady will come by, she'll just be talking to you as you're scavenging. She doesn't bother you. She doesn't do anything. She's just there. Yeah, it's taken a while to get through. Yeah, then it's just a matter of retrieving anything of use. So... Alright. Good. Yeah, we're just gonna open everything up first, because then if needed, we can drop the crowbar to have an extra space in the inventory. Yeah, break the locks and... That'll be good. Yep. Okay. Good. Oh, there's tinned food down here. Okay. Alright, we've got enough inventory space. Yeah, she just follows you. It's mildly annoying, but whatever. Yeah, let's just drop everything. We'll take the crowbar back with us, though. Alongside whatever else, but... And I don't know if there's anything beyond that door. No. Okay, so we're good. We're just about done. Yeah, once we can get all the bullets back, we might be able to go raid the military outpost. And just clean up that area. Yeah, there's a bunch of food in the military outpost. Part 2. So, yeah, we'll be able to do that once we got enough bullets. Unfortunately, we've only got one gun, so I think before I do that, I'm gonna try and board up the shelter. Provide some protection against looters and better chance of success without getting hurt. I'm not feeling that ballsy, I don't think. Lady, get away from my stockpile! Okay, you're just sitting there. That's fine. Yeah, don't go to my stockpile, lady. This is my stuff. This is... Yeah, grab that. Alright, let's go. Let's go home. Let's head home for the night. Good. Yeah, I did the herbal meds. They didn't help. They don't always. Let's actually see if we got enough stuff. Because you need the workshop level 2. We don't. Yeah, you need the workshop level 2 in order to make the board ups in the shelter. Let's see, maybe Franco will come by. And he is here. Cool. Nice. Yes, Franco, talk to me. I need you, buddy. I need lots of stuff from you. Yeah, we'll need the filters later, but... Alright, that's a bunch of junk we just offloaded. Deal. Is there anything else I want from you? No? Alright, we'll send you off. Thank you, Franco! For coming by. Alright, let's head. Yep. Yep, and then... Yep, and I basically just gotta bring back a bunch of wood. You can also look at your things in here. Yeah, let me see what I can all bring back. Actually, Pavel, you go get the herbal meds here real quick, see if they get you feeling better. There, keep going. And if you're doing any construction, also make sure that your characters are actually actively engaging in it, so... Alright, Marco, scavenge... Guard, well now you have a gun, so there's no reason you can't defend the shelter. And get hurt. Prepare and regrow. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I'll actually grab mostly wood on this visit. Yeah, grab the junk on the next visit. Because I want to be able to... If I'm gonna do the military outpost with only one gun available, I want to have the shelter fully boarded up. And there are 3 of these, chat, for those of you unfamiliar. There are 3 board-ups in any shelter. And you can also reinforce the door, but that requires the advanced workshop, which is level 3, so... Looks like Pavel got better, which is good. Alright, Bruno, you make a dish for Pavel. And Pavel, you get busy boarding up the shelter. Alright, Pavel, get busy. Okay, I've got enough materials to fully board up the shelter. I am happy with that. Alright, and then that's the last one. And you'll also notice we've breached the walls. Or we've repaired the breaches in the walls. What else can we do? Not much. You could also make traps for small animals, like you can get rats and stuff, but you don't usually need to do that, but... Can I upgrade the oven yet? Can I do that? Yes! I will gladly do so. Yeah, the next thing we're gonna work on is the heater. Because eventually we're gonna be facing the winter, so... You wanna have the if you can, you wanna have the heater upgraded before you even get to the winter, but there's a couple scenarios where you start in it. You start with a heater in those cases, but... There we go. Yep, we still need more. Alright. Yeah, we can probably grab pretty much the rest of the stuff. And then maybe tomorrow we can go raid the military outpost. Knock everybody out. I probably don't need to come back. Unless I'm desperate for components, but... What do you mean? How were you wounded? You have a gun, Bruno. Use it. Clearly you did, because you fought him off, but how are you getting wounded? And you can't actually re-roll it, kind of. What do you mean? We don't need more people on guard. It only takes one person with a gun. Can you guys just not get slightly wounded? Can you guys just not get wounded at all? And you can make meds and bandages, but... Let's see if Franco comes by. Let's see if Franco's gonna show up. I don't think he's coming, because usually he'd be coming pretty early in the day if he's gonna show up, so... I don't think anything's happening. Alright, I'm feeling ballsy. Let's go for the military outpost. Let's get it done. Now you gotta be really careful when you're doing the military outpost because there's actually a trick to this though. Yeah, if you kind of just hang out for a minute. You want him to say excuse me, and then you can head up and knock this guy out. So, and thus the rest of them. This is kind of just like garbage, so you're not doing any harm by digging through that, but... Yeah, we're actually gonna make this the drop-off point because we don't have the crowbar to be able to put stuff. And you can talk to him, say not interested. It might take a minute, sometimes it's instantaneous, sometimes it takes a bit, but... If you have one of the combat characters, you can take this down with a knife. And then, excuse me. Yep, so then he leaves, you can pull out your gun. And you can hide over here without being seen. And then you can shoot this guy once you're crouched. And you'll want to stay put, because then they'll just keep trying to come up the ladder. And that's basically a free win for you to shoot them. It's always a little nerve-wracking because you gotta act quickly with this guy and then... Yeah, eventually they'll come back and they'll just keep trying to climb the ladder. And as soon as you don't see the red circles anymore, you can, which indicates motion, you can get up. And you're done! Easy. And now you got all the guns that you could ever want, so... But, we're not done. We're gonna try and do part 2 at the same time. I have done it where I knock out both parts at once, so... But if you do kill people, and there is stuff on them, if you don't pick them up, it will vanish when you come back to scavenge, so make sure you pick it up and put it somewhere. Yeah, so we're just gonna drop anything that's not one of the rifles in the ammo. Alright, let's go. Part 2! Let's get it done. So for part 2... This is the first area. Alright, careful, Marco. It's sneaky here, buddy. Come on. And then hide right here. And you can shoot that guy when he gets a little bit closer. I'm surprised he could actually shoot me from there. Marco might even die here. Yeah, he's not looking too good, so... I may have to run. That was kind of ballsy. Alright, Marco, you need to stay home for scavenging, buddy. You need to heal. And I'm gonna have to trade these guns for some bandages. But the threat is completely muted here, so... So I could have Pavel do the scavenging and bring everything to the front. So... yeah, run to the exit, Marco. You need to get out of here, buddy. As you can see, his movement speed is significantly hampered because of how wounded he is. So... hopefully Franco comes by, and I hope he's got band-aids. Either way, I've got one set of band-aids. Oh, is he even gonna get out of there? Oh, he may not even make it. The sun might catch him. This is gonna get close. Wow, that was close. I honestly was not paying attention to what the time was either. I should have been. Yeah. Okay, I have 2 sets of bandages, so he'll be okay. But yeah. And then Marco, go ahead and have that tinned food, and then go lay down. You need to lay down and heal, buddy. That was pretty ballsy. I should have split up the military outpost, so... it definitely should have been split up. But now we've got so many guns that there is absolutely no excuse for the shelter to not be defended. And Franco's coming by. So we'll be able to get some more bandages from him, hopefully. Hopefully he will have some, because we need some for our boy. For our boy Marco to be okay. He does not have any, so we are gonna have to hope that Marco gets better with just the 2 that we have. I know you can make them, but I forget the recipe. I know there's a way you can make them. To make band-aids. So... I forget what the recipe is, though. I know it involves alcohol, so... so we will need an alcohol distillery. And I believe we also need herbs. Actually, let me look it up real quick. What do you need to make bandages in this game? It would. Yeah, I guess that'll tell me the recipe for... bandages. Yeah, we need alcohol. yeah, that's right. We can't make... Yeah, I'll let Marco sleep at night, but I just gotta get Pavel sleeping so then he can at least be ready to go scavenge. There we go. Alright, Marco, yeah, you sleep. Yep, and now a bunch of other sites opened up. Yeah, the warehouse is another site with a lot of people, but... we're just gonna see what we can grab without it. Yeah, we can't have Marco, even though he's the skilled scavenger, not only can he not go out whatsoever because he is wounded, which he can't, he's too wounded, the game won't let you. I need him to get better, so... it's worth a slight resource loss if it means I can keep Marco alive. I didn't realize there was anything at the top of the sniper tower. Yeah, I had to wait for that guy to start going down the ladder, because if he was climbing a ladder, he can't shoot me. And thus Marco cannot get killed. Oh, another band-aid! I need those. Excellent. I think we'll have enough to almost fully heal Marco with this band-aid I just found. Yeah, we're into the exit, Pavel. Let's drop off what you got. Yeah, I don't need the crowbar for that thing right there. Yeah, Pavel's also a good scavenger because he can get through and clean out areas a lot quicker. Yeah, that's a specialty of his. He does particularly well at getting stuff cleaned up. Yeah, I'd say he's a pretty close second to Marco, as far as good scavengers. Most everybody else is kind of meh. I think there's stuff down here. I know there's a couple of saw blade. Yeah, there's two. Yeah, I'm gonna need 2 saw blades and a crowbar in order to finish this place off. Now, what the heck is up there at the top of the sniper tower? I don't think I've ever actually been up here. Now, what would have made that go better for Marco is if I had a bulletproof vest or a helmet. That would have given him some better protection against getting shot, but... yeah, that works. Right, right into the exit, Pavel. There's still a couple things we gotta clean out in here, but... there's a couple areas we can pick stuff up at, but... yeah, let's make sure you drop off what you got so then we can bring the guns home. Use those as trading mechanisms. Alright, we're done. Aside for a couple of crowbar areas, the military outpost has been cleaned out. Alright, run home. Get out of there, Pavel. Seriously? Why is Bruno getting wounded? Guys. Normally the game would tell you if there's like an outbreak of crime, in which case then I would put more people on guard, but I only have 3. Good. None of us were wounded and the attackers didn't steal anything. That's how it should have been. Yeah, I need to get enough materials to be able to reinforce the door. Can I get level 2? I can't. I need that in order to get the saw blade. Man. Kind of in a rough spot materials-wise. I just got a bunch of... Yeah, I know, Marco. You're fine, though. You're alright, buddy. Oh, there's that lady again. Yeah, this might be one of those rare instances where I might stay put. Wait, what happened? Oh, the game crashed. Can't say I've ever had that happen before. Let's see if that neighbor comes by again. Hopefully she does, otherwise it's fine if she doesn't, but... Yep. Why is the game crashing? What the heck? Maybe you gotta verify integrity of the game files. Maybe I just put, you know, bandage Marco, put the boys to bed and try rushing it. And see if the same thing happens. Because if it does, then... then it might just be... But if that's not the case and the same thing happens, then I'll... try and verifying integrity of the game files, and hopefully that solves the issue. Alright, go sit in the chair. No! The same thing didn't happen. Strange. Very strange. Yeah, it's very odd. Huh. Maybe just with that event in particular, I'm not sure, but... Okay. Let's see, what do I want to take out? Probably the crafting materials first. Hopefully Franco shows up, because I would like to... Yeah, I got a lot of pills I could trade, but... Franco, please show up. Usually he comes pretty early if he will. Well, it is dressed. Marco. But we don't have any more bandages for right now, so you better get better, buddy. Well, until Pavel wakes up, you can't go to bed. Marco. Alright, Pavel, get up. It's only 17% rated? There's more than that, but I stand corrected. One of the first locations I came to. Yeah, come back and grab a bunch more stuff. Yeah, this picture right there is an outbreak of crime. Like, that's when you really gotta be careful. That's when you'll want more people on guard until you can get the shelter fully reinforced. So... yeah, that's kind of your cue. Yeah, hopefully Franco shows up. Franco, please, you have not come to visit us for quite some time, buddy. I need you to come by. I need stuff. Well, actually, can we get this thing to level 2 so then I can make saw blades? No. I'm short by 4 freaking components. Yeah, there's a lot of saw blade. Franco, thank you. I need you, buddy. Hi, talk to me. I have tons of pills. What can I get for it? I have tons of pills and tons of guns. Well, actually... you got tons of stuff. Yeah, give me all your stuff. I want all of it. Yeah, you can kind of min-max the trades. Actually, I'll take the beer, take the alcohol, because then I can distill that. to make bandages. Yeah, I'm taking all the building materials. I don't normally like to do that, but... what's gonna get you to make a deal? Yeah, that's fine. Alright. Out you go. Hey. Thought I told you to go home. Go home. Franco, stop knocking on the door. I did what you wanted. We traded. Alright. Let's get the workshop to level 2. So then I can get saw blades. And I need a bunch of them. Yeah, 1 for the looted gas station and 2 for the military outpost. So I'm just gonna make all 3. And then the next thing is to work on getting heating. Alright, Marco, go to bed. Pavel, you take over. Construction duty. Yes. I need the saw blades. Actually, no, I need 4. I need 3 saw blades for the military outpost, because there's 1 in the beginning part with meds, and there's 2 more. So I'm gonna have to make another one. Yeah, I'm gonna have to make another one. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. That's the last of my components, but... Alright, and then what do I need for this? I just need components. Alright, end the day. Let's head back to the looted gas station. Yeah, I know I need the crowbar, so I'm gonna take it with me. Alright, let's go. Alright, I was able to save Marco's life. Thank goodness. I need him. And the saw blades are single use, so bear that in mind. If you've got a location that requires more than one. Yeah, and it'll say this item has broken. So they are single use. Yeah, the crowbar can handle a bunch. I don't know the exact number, but it can handle several. Ooh, another band-aid. Okay. Alright, let's head out. And we're just about done here. Let's see how many components I can take with me. Yeah, I also need the workshop at level 3 to build a lot of other things, so... Oh yeah, I could come back tomorrow night and just grab the rest. That works. And then this area will be completely cleaned out. And I will have no reason to come back. And then it's back to the military outpost. No, Bruno, you are not gonna have a deep wound. It's probably because he was guarding, but...
Base is under attack.
Yeah, it's like now, as soon as I have 2 people up there, now, oh, we're gonna decide, alright, it's calm. We're not gonna... No, we're not gonna raid you as soon as you start putting 2 people on guard. It's gonna be a calm night. Like, really? And it's like, oh, we need to put more people on guard. I do that, and then the next thing, everything's fine. Like, it's so dumb. Yeah, let's just end it and move on. Yeah, sorry, Marco, I know you're tired, but you gotta head out again. Like... Yeah, watch, now he's gonna be like, oh, now Bruno's got a serious wound. Like, seriously? Alright, we're done. Tons and tons of components. Seriously? Wow, of course. Soon as the night is calm, next night, need put more people on guard. Well, Bruno's wounded right now, so... Alright, I can't win. Yeah, we should put more people on guard. Well, I'm sorry, but... I can't really afford to waste my bandages. Might actually have to. Not really a fan of the idea, but whatever. Yeah, they will never get better unless you're sending them out to scavenge, but it's... Yeah, I need to reinforce the door. But now we're starting to get into the winter period. And you can tell because the temperature is dropping, it's starting to turn more of a pale brown. That means the temperature is getting colder, so we're gonna be getting into the winter relatively soon. Yeah, we're gonna reinforce that door. Yeah, this is the best defense against looting. This is the most protection you can get. Oh, who's that? It's one of our neighbors. Well, we're gonna finish making this first, so... Alright. Hi, what's up? Oh yeah, he's got vegetables. He's sharing food with everybody, with the neighbors. Yeah, I need 2 of the thermoregulators because I need 1 for that and 1 for the upgraded heater, so I may as well just make 2. And I need to hope I find more components so then I can reinforce the door and install an improvised alarm system. So I should only need 1 person awake now. We're gonna find out. Yep, we gotta start looking at heat. Anything else I can even do? Not really. Alright, military outpost. let's go. Let's finish off the military outpost. Yeah, we'll go farther areas first. Oh, you're right. Yeah, 'cause there's also one down there. Yeah, purely because of how far away. This area is. Yeah, the crowbar might even break, actually. I'll have to see. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and pop it while I'm here, and then also pop the last one with the saw blade on the way back. Let's grab more stuff. Yeah, most of the time one crowbar is enough to get you through the whole game, but depending on what zones you get, it might break and then you'll have to make another one, but I don't usually have an issue. Alright, run to the exit, Marco. Actually, pop that real quick. So then I can drop the crowbar so I have another carry space. Yes, what is up? Hi. Welcome. What's happening, Hez? I see the hydrate request. You excited for the cooking stream tomorrow? Are you gonna be there? Yo! That's awesome. Awesome sauce. Nice. Yeah, pop that, and then we should be able to finish off the scavenging here. Yeah, dump everything down there. Yep, for those of you unaware, chat, those of you who might be newer here, I'm gonna be doing a cooking stream tomorrow. This will be the second one. Chat had to crowdfund their points for this one. My stream chat. Yeah, this time we're gonna be making buffalo chicken chili. That's what's on the menu, so... Last time we made a Tex-Mex skillet, but this time we're making chili, so... Did I forget anything? No. Okay. I'm just making sure I don't forget anything. Yep, we're making chili. And that is tomorrow, so... If you want to see that stream, drop a follow. Yeah, grab the meds out of the medicine cabinet, and then we will be fully rated for the military outpost. We're in a good position. Yep, we got lots of band-aids now, so... It's gonna take a couple nights probably to get everything out, but... tons of band-aids. I know 3 doesn't sound like much, but that actually is a lot in this game. Because it takes 1 for every unit of injury, and a character can have up to 4 levels of injury before they die. So 3 is actually a lot. It's enough to almost fully heal someone from lethally wounded back to normal. So, alright. Alright, let's get the stuff. Yep, and we can come back on the next night and finish off the military outpost. And then we will have no reason to come back, because there's just nothing else here, so... Yep. Good! Everybody's back to normal. Sweet. Alright, Marco, go to bed. Actually, Marco, go eat first. Look, we are looking pretty good for the winter here. Alright, Pavel, can we make a heater yet? No. We need stuff. We can, however, do this and start getting rid of some of the furniture around the house and around some of the sites. Yeah, the hatchet is a very handy tool to create more room in the shelter for other stuff that you want. It provides wood and fuel for stoves and heaters. Oh, Franco! Buddy! Talk to me. Hi. Can I trade? Can I trade with you? Alright, yeah, Pavel, can I trade? What else can I get from you? Alright, I guess. What else can we get from him? That's all we can really get for now. Alright, go home. What else are we gonna do? Can make the heater. can make the simple one. Can we upgrade it, though? Probably not, but... You can also use the hatchet as a weapon, but honestly, when you're at the point where you got guns, the hatchet doesn't mean anything. As far as being a weapon. So... Alright, can we upgrade it yet? No. But I can put some fuel in it. And it can hold up to 6 units of fuel at a time. The maximum shelter temperature is 75 degrees. It will not go higher than that, no matter how good your heater is and how much fuel you've thrown in it. But the higher your temperature is, the less likely it is that people will get sick, so... Worth getting it heated up nicely. Yeah, let's go knock that out. Yeah, you can also take the hatchet with you to other sites. Which I might do for the military outpost, just to see what I can chop and get wood out of. Can I make another chair? Can I do that? Yes. Let's put it up there. Yeah, let's just see what we can do. Might as well get our money's worth out of it. See what we can chop. Worth looking. If nothing else. So. Maybe more likely in this half of the house of the area. Yeah, not everything can be chopped, so it's worth a look. If it turns out to be nothing, then it's fine, but... Alright, doesn't look like it can be anything. Alright, never mind. I'm gonna knock my headset off. I don't think it's gonna be enough to upgrade, but nah. See if anything comes up. I'm back! This bloke. You're funny. We keep going. We almost lost someone to getting wounded. I had to go to the gym, bloke. Who goes to the gym? Who goes to the gym? For real. Let's be real. Who actually does that? What is this? Me, I'm fat and old. You're funny, bloke. You really... you make me laugh. You're fat and old. What do we want to do? Some Valheim grinding? Nice! What have you been up to in Valheim? What's been happening? Nice. Iron. Just in case. Alright, let's go raid. Oh, okay, gotcha. Let's actually break this down real quick. Alright, now grab the gun and... yeah, these guys got guns, so I gotta be... gotta be careful. Kinda like with the military outpost. Yeah, this you gotta do carefully. Much like any of the locations that... Okay, that guy's over there. What can I do? Yeah, I thought I was gonna be able to get it, but... yeah, that one can be rough, much like the military outpost, but... can make a knife to make that one easier. I can repair the helmet that I got from the military outpost. Also, go ahead. I can't make a knife. Because I ran out of components. Yeah, let's see if that makes it easier. Probably will. Yeah, because the warehouse has a bunch of food. See if I can knock them out. Yeah, you gotta kind of peek at them to get them to start talking. If I can get upstairs and get up above and go for the ladder. Yeah, because then I can get them to come up the ladder. And basically be sitting ducks. Alright, let's carefully, slowly. Slow. If I had Erica or Roman with a knife, I could take this place down pretty quickly. Okay, I'm gonna close the door, because that can create suspicion if the doors are open. See if I can get in here. Let's see what this guy does next. Well, you're really fattening yourself up there, buddy. That's the third time you've gone in the fridge. Yeah, it's always kind of nerve-wracking going into a spot with armed people. Pretty sure he comes out eventually, but... It's too bad I can't just shoot him from my current position. Yeah, get him to come to me. Where are you going? I don't know where he is, but... You gotta be ready. You have to knock him out and then leave, pretty much. Where is he? I don't see motion. Where'd he go? Yeah, I'm gonna have to leave. Can I knock this out? Oh wait, there he is! Yeah, Marco may not make it. He might. Close call again. Of getting back in the nick of time. Now that area is clear. Go sit up there, Bruno, and keep an eye out. Yeah, once the boys wake up, I'm gonna feed them, and then if nothing's happened, I'll end the day. And then go scavenge that area. Yeah, there's so much free stuff to clean out that I think I'm not going to take the crowbar on the first night. Because the warehouse stretches pretty far, as you guys saw. And there's a lot of stuff in that far section. Yeah, we're kind of getting to be almost the halfway point for the average campaign, at least of the basic scenarios. Yeah, let's make sure the boys are fed. And then at some point, you also can have an opportunity to get another survivor, and you can have up to 4 survivors in the shelter at a time. I believe that includes children. If you have any children in the group. Alright. Yep. Yeah, let's have Marco start getting busy here. You got a lot of work to do, buddy. Let's get started. And then you'll notice once we've killed everybody in the area, then there's no threat. You'll notice that the danger tag has been removed because there's nobody there. So... yeah, there's stuff as far back as over here, so... and you'll want to be very careful with the run to exit button here, because that is another exit right there for the warehouse. Yes, this is one of those cases where you'll want to manually control. I need a lot of materials to upgrade the heater before the winter hits. That would be preferred. That'd be strongly preferred. By the way, sometime this weekend we want to do the boat splashdown and sailing over to the next boss spawner. If we can get a group, like if we can get a couple people, that would be preferable. A couple folks willing to join us. Otherwise, I'd be down for that. I don't know if I have a plan for Sunday for the stream. But obviously tomorrow is the cooking stream, so that's off limits. As far as stream plans. Have to uphold the cooking stream. I cannot deny the fans their cooking stream wish. You guys earned it, so I'm going to uphold. I'll throw a ping out. Yeah, go ahead and do that, just to see who's available. Yeah, because tomorrow we're going to be doing the cooking stream, Mansions of Madness, while the chili cooks, because it's going to take a while. And... and then I kind of thought either DRG, because the dives actually look pretty good. They look pretty reasonable. Last week they just looked like a slog, so I didn't really want to play them. That's kind of where I'm at this point with DRG and the deep dives. It's like, do they look decent? Do they look good? Oh yeah, so that's locked. That's something I'll have to bring back my thing for. Stuff. And there's either one or two. Yeah, looks like we got one or two saw blade points. Yeah, I'm gonna check, but I'm pretty sure there's one more. Yeah, there's one more saw blade point, so I need two saw blades and the crowbar to finish off the warehouse. And we're just about done for this particular area. Make sure there's nothing left upstairs. Yeah, two saw blades and the crowbar. In order to get the rest of it cleaned out. And what perfect timing, we are just about at the point where we would have to leave anyway, so... You're just about at that point. Grab some of the junk in case Franco shows up. There's a smaller spot up here. I'm right by the exit, so I'm okay. Just get it. And you have an unlimited amount of time when you're sitting here in an inventory, so and make sure you grab everything you want. Good. We are back. We've got stuff. Yeah, this is about the point where we would get another survivor, so I'm actually gonna... And that usually happens a little bit later in the day. They're, like, sneaking around, so they're trying to stay out of the line of fire. Like, Franco decided to show up, which is good. Trade with him. Hi! Franco, I've got stuff. Let's trade. Okay, let's keep talking to him. I've got so many guns, it's not even funny. I've got 180 bullets. This is absurd. This is insane how much crap I have accumulated. How many guns that I now have. Honestly, I don't care. I have so much stuff. What else do I want from him? I don't really... Well... Yeah, he really doesn't have anything else. Alright, bye-bye. Let's see if that's enough to upgrade the heater. It is just enough. Cool. Nice. Yeah, that's gonna be important before we hit the winter, so... So now we are set up and we are good to go. Alright, so what do I need for... Just need a bunch of components. And then Bruno is also better at making alcohol, as far as the good cook skill. So he's not only good at cooking normal stuff, he's also much better with alcohol brewing. So, another thing to keep in mind when you have Bruno on your squad. Yeah, unfortunately I did not have the materials to make... Well, I guess I could have made one, perhaps, but... Let's see if I can grab what I can grab out of here. Yeah, this is the point where I'm probably gonna start speeding it up. Yeah, speeding up the day-night cycle. You know, like feed on odd-numbered days, but then just zip it. Zip through it. No, you're not gonna walk off with my food. Usually you can leave everybody asleep, but... I need 2 for the warehouse. And as long as everybody's fed. So 1 person up to guard. You can kind of still hear the noises. Alright, go. Yeah, let's just finish it off. Let's head down below. And then we'll truly be done. Bring back this junk I pick up, plus a bunch of components. So I've got more than enough consumables to fuel the fire for the rest of the run. Pretty much. It's only when I start cooking and making beer that I might have an issue, but... Alright, yeah, let's go. Head home. Mista Marco. Yep, the crime curb has occurred. Yeah, so it's just a crime wave. Oh yeah, I should probably see if I can make the alcohol distillery. I can. This will allow me to refine the booze. Not only is it better for trading, I can also make band-aids with it. So, with distilled alcohol. Excuse me. Yeah, I've got 40 consumables. This is crazy. But actually, real quick, let me start making the next batch of booze. And you can only make 5 sets at a time, 5 bottles at a time. But yeah, but then while I'm making those... Yeah, those take 5 in-game hours to brew, so I'm gonna let that sit. No, get back down. Get that alcohol. Yeah, it's just a random dude. So much beer. I love it. Oh, the beer I could ever want. And as long as you got sugar, you can make beer. Eventually they will leave if you don't answer the door, but... What? Oh, that's a humanitarian aid drop. Actually, Bruno, you stay up there. Yeah, you head down, Marco. You take care of that. Hold on. More! Beer! We're making moonshine. Yeah, so that's how to make band-aids. And you can make cigarettes to indulge Bruno's addiction to smoking. Because you'll notice if you look at his profile, in the upper right-hand corner under Good Cook, it says Smoker. So, it's not obligatory that you fulfill their addiction, they're just gonna complain. Like, they just complain. That's it. Yeah, there's nothing else to do but construction. Yeah, just go pick up the stuff. Right back out. Yeah, I don't think we're gonna finish the run today, so we'll have to see when we can come back to continue this run. A pear? I don't have one though, Holy. I can't do that. I also see that you redeemed Hydrate. Yeah, I don't have a pear. No! Yeah, sorry to burst your bubble, Holy, but I do not have a pear in the house. Apple? I do have an apple. Well, I've got half a banana on my desk, but if you really want me to go get the apple, I will go get the apple. I love how you were like, no! So funny. That was good. Alright, well, you'll have to give me a moment to go get the apple. I'll just kind of get the boys sleeping, fed and sleeping. And then I'll go get up, because then I'm going to let the day run. Yeah, fed, go refill the heater. Alright, I'll go ahead and get up, go get the apple because you insist. Alright. I'll be back momentarily, chat. Hey, bloke. No, it was not the walk of shame. It's just that Holy had a specific request. A specific type of snack. So... that's all it is. Because he asked me for a pear at first, but I don't have any. But then he asked me if I had an apple, which this is my last apple, Holy, so... there we go. There we go. Yeah. Alright, let's sit back down. I can actually take the hatchet, see if there's anything. 3 cheers for fruit. Yeah, until I can get out to the store again, all I've got now is like frozen mango pieces. Like little chunks of mango. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I'm just checking the house for anything I can use the hatchet on. Doesn't look like it. Oh, I forgot about the thing up here. It's fine. I'm not that worried about it. Eh. You're funny, Holy. Okay. Alright, we are done at the warehouse. We have nothing else to do there. We're gonna have to look elsewhere for other supplies. We're honestly at the point where we might just be able to bum rush it. Bruno's gonna be cooking all day. Alright. I saw the hydrate. And that's also part of the reason, Holy, that I kind of left healthy as just a blanket. So that it's like whatever healthy snack I have in the house. I'm happy to take a specific request, but I cannot guarantee fulfillment. Alright, apple! Yay. Apple. There's Franco. What can I even get out of him at this point? I'm pretty well set up. Holy crap, I've got 89 wood. I didn't realize I had that much. Alright. Yeah, we're good. Thank you! Yeah, I can probably make more stuff, so I'm actually gonna... Alright, what can we make at this point? We can make the radio. How many bottles of booze do we get? 15. How many filters do we have? 7. You can kind of get the news. I want to see if I can start that process. Oh, you've got to be joking. Yeah, if I bomb rush it, I might be able to finish the run today, but I don't know if I'm gonna have enough food to feed everybody. That's the problem. Yeah, 30 bottles of booze. Alright, Marco, maybe you go down there and make some more fuel for the stove. Yeah, with this trap for small animals, I might be able to... 30 bottles of booze. Yeah, I got all the boys working on something. Basically, we're setting rat traps. Yeah, this would be like if you wanted to stay put. Because a lot of the areas are getting cut off due to the fighting. Actually, Pablo, go eat, then go to bed. Yeah, do I even... Yeah, do I just try to bum rush it? I could. Because I'm running out of time. I want you guys to see the epilogue. Yeah, I could just bum rush it unless it's Franco Day. Let's see if Franco's gonna come by to say hi. Otherwise, we're gonna keep moving. Stay put. Yeah, let's get everybody fed. And you can actually overfeed your survivors. It is possible. If you want. Quite a feast. Yeah. You can feed them one additional level. If you want. Yeah, it's more just for a funny than anything, but... Quite a feast. Either way, you're feeding them the same amount over the course of a run. But sometimes it's just funny to stuff them with food. I'm sure we got like 10 more. Yeah, because we're running out. Oh, Franco's coming by. Thank you! Do you have components that I can use to upgrade stuff? Hi! What do you got? Ooh, you got tobacco leaves? I can make cigarettes with those. Even 2 shotguns ain't enough for you? I got so many guns. It don't even matter. Extorting me on the price just because I've got a bunch of guns. I think he might be extorting us, chat. Don't even need anything else from him? Not really. Yeah, let's just send him off. Maybe I can make a second rat trap. You can only have 2 rat traps. By the way. Yeah, there is a shelter limit of 2. But it kind of feeds into itself, so... You know, 1 for 2 for 1. Can you actually do anything? Well, you can repair this gun. What else can we do? Anything meaningful? We can't make the garden. What? What's going on, Shiki? Talk to me. Yeah, you can only have 2. Yes, you can't quite just have a farm of them in the house. Yeah, we're not even in the winter yet. Looks like we've got rats that ended up in our rat traps. Took a mini nap. Oh, okay. You're probably going for a chair, aren't you? Yep, and then there's the cold season. Oh yeah, and look at that. You can actually build a snowman out there if you want. Yeah, you can build a snowman. It takes a while, but you can. Let's go make sure the furnace stays full. Yeah, we've got so much food that we don't really have to worry about going out. I know I mentioned earlier if you're not scavenging, something's wrong, but I did also say that if you're very stable in your food supply and your material supply, then you can usually get away with staying put. And then there's other sites that you won't be able to get to due to the snow. You can see the little snowman over there. Yeah, keep the shelter warm. Kind of let it sit for a while. Franco. What you got? Got a deal. Couple bits of booze. I think there's... I was looking at my Steam achievements for this game, see if I can get another perfect game. And even when I try to look, you know, because, you know, hidden achievement, it doesn't really specify how to get it. Most of them. Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's an achievement for making 100 cigarettes. Now that sounds silly, but it is a thing. I looked. Yeah, if I haven't hit it yet, it's gotta be close. Oh, the militia showed up. Hello? Bye, Shiki! Have a good one! Hang in there. Nah. Yeah, if I bum rush it, we could still finish. Might still be able to. Yeah, I still wanted to start a little bit earlier to see if I could actually get a full run in. Franco! What's happening, my buddy? Trade! Yeah, it's gonna be close. Yeah, I'm gonna have to, like, hard bum rush it. Like, not even trade with Franco at this point. Yeah, the only thing I'm gonna be doing is like, is there rats in the rat trap? So I'm really trying to bum rush it. So then you guys can see what the epilogue looks like. Yeah, so now they're gonna be hungrier, but... Come on, guys, we're gonna get to the end of this. Okay. Come on, Billy, we're gonna get it. Yeah, now they're at the starving level. Alright, Bruno, get to cooking. Yeah, the problem is we don't have a lot of water either, so... Yeah, I know you guys are having trouble right now, but... Yeah, I know you guys are having trouble right now, but... Oh, Franco, you got food? He's got something. make sure we can feed him. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to head out here after the night saves. Yeah, we may have to incorporate it into the cooking stream tomorrow, but we are definitely close. Yeah, I'm gonna have to head out here, guys. I gotta get to work. Well, we'll go ahead and let the night cycle. Oops. Yeah, we'll end the night and... just so that... because it saves after each night. Alright, yeah, we're gonna have to go. We got pretty close. Let's go quick find someone to raid. I don't know if there's anybody else that's streaming this war of mine. Not anybody that's doing it in English, so let's see if we can find just anybody. Yeah, we may have to skip the raid today. Sorry, guys. I will see you tomorrow for the cooking stream.